Hi, my name is Anne. Thank you for coming to my channel. Today I want to talk a little bit about the bags that I use to help prevent pickpocketing when I am traveling. So before I get into the specific bags I have used, a few caveats. Number one, this is kind of a funny one, but I am from Wisconsin in the United States. I have an accent that is from Wisconsin. And one of the places where it tends to come out is in the word bag. And I know that it can be somewhat annoying to people, that pronunciation. I don't always like it myself, but it is the accent that I have. Not much I can do about it. And I'm going to say bag a whole lot in this video. So if it bothers you, hopefully you can hold on for a few minutes. Second, my experience traveling is primarily in Europe with one trip to South Africa, and the strategies I used in South Africa were the same, but I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to that bag that I used when I went there. Different countries have different situations in terms of how safe you feel carrying things, and I will talk about money belts a little bit at the end. I don't use money belts, and I'll talk more about why when I get to that part, but there are parts of the world where potentially wearing a money belt is your best option. So again, I'll cover that in just a little bit. And then finally, in my regular life, I am not a big bag person. I am not someone who matches my bag to my outfit and is changing all the time. I don't aspire to having a really expensive brand name bag someday. It's all about utility for me, and I tend to wear one bag over and over and over again until it's either gross or broken, and then I get something else. So take that for what it's worth. That will follow through with my travel bags, which are admittedly not fashionable at all, but they are very functional for preventing pickpocketing. And I think that's one of the things that people worry about maybe the most when they're traveling, especially for the first time to a place like Europe, and they want to make sure that their stuff is safe, which is a perfectly valid thing to be concerned about. One thing that you want to be very careful about is you do not want to carry things just in open pockets, particularly your back pocket. Here in the United States, at least in the area where I live, we frequently have people carrying their wallets and their phones in their back pocket, and it's not a big deal. You cannot do that when you're traveling. That is an invitation to be pickpocketed, and you just don't want to put yourself in that situation. Everything I'm talking about here is meant to make you less of a target so that the pickpockets, who are very professional at what they do, they know what they're doing. They know how to figure out who the best target is and who they can steal something from very quickly and without you realizing it. So what I'm going to talk about with these bags is ways to make yourself not the one that they are going to target. I wish no pickpocketing happened, but that's not the reality. So let's just make sure it isn't you and it isn't me. All right, so what do I look for in a travel bag? I am looking for something. My number one priority is a crossbody bag. I don't want things falling off my shoulders or having to hold on to things and worrying about dropping them or setting them down and leaving somewhere. So crossbody is very important to me. And then the pretty much an equal priority for me is a locking zipper. What you don't want is a zipper that someone can easily open. And you might think you would notice if someone was opening a zipper on your bag, but I can tell you from experience, you don't. So one thing that often happens is someone will come up next to you. You might be in the subway system, you might be on a bus, or just standing in a crowded area watching something, so you'll be in that spot for a while. Someone will come up next to you or sit next to you, and they will have a jacket or something draped over their arm, and when they're standing next to you, they will make sure that whatever they have there is draping over your bag, and then they will come in underneath and unzip your bag. That actually happened to me once in the metro in Madrid, and I caught them with their hand in the bag and pulled it out, so I didn't have anything stolen, but I easily could have. So that's why, to me, a locking zipper is important. Definitely jackets have zippers, but if it's not locked, I'm not putting anything that I don't want to lose in any kind of pocket that someone could get into. The only exception would be like an inside pocket in a jacket. That is a little bit safer. But other than that, I would have nothing in pockets on me except things that if I lost, it wouldn't be a big deal. So let me get into the bags that I have used and what I'm looking for in them, and you can see how some of these things come into play. So the first bag I ever got is this one, and it is from a company called Travelon. And I will link the Travelon website below, but they also sell quite a bit on Amazon. And I think I used to see them on QVC, but I'm not sure they are anymore. But anyway, or either way, you should be able to find them. They have tons of different sizes and styles. This particular one, I don't think they make this style anymore. And this one is actually broken, so I'm gonna have to get a new one. And I'll be looking for something different. So here's what you have. So this is definitely a crossbody bag. And I like this sort of nylon fabric. Again, I know it's not fashionable or beautiful or anything like that, but it gets wet and dries without any kind of damage. It's super easy to clean something off. This bag has been to Europe many times and it still doesn't look really that bad. It just has some broken snaps on it that I just want to get a new one. I don't carry a bag this big anymore. I used to all the time. Now I do when I'm leading study abroad programs because I need to carry more, but this size is great if you carry a lot with you. So you can see here, it's got the locking zipper right here, and then it has another locking zipper down here. So if someone wants to try to get into this pouch, they're not going to be able to. Another feature that Travelon bags have is in the strap, they have a thin wire that goes through the strap. That prevents somebody from coming up and cutting the strap so that your bag falls and they can run with it. That actually happened to me once in Dublin, not with a bag like this. It was a different bag. It had a very heavy strap. It didn't have a wire through it, but someone slashed through it, didn't go all the way through, and it was fine. I didn't lose anything, but I could have had it slashed all the way through. And this also has down at the bottom, it has anti-slash technology at the bottom too. So someone can't come and slash your bag and everything falls out. They grab your wallet and they go. I don't worry so much about the strap and the slash proof bottoms. I just really want the linking zipper so that someone can't unzip my bag. Then when I went to South Africa, I was researching safety precautions there. And just as kind of a side note, if you are going to some place like South Africa and you research it, it makes it seem like South Africa is a horribly dangerous place to go. And in some places that is very much true. But the places tourists go, that's really not the case. I was in Johannesburg and Cape Town and on a safari in Kruger National Park, and I never felt unsafe. But I did take the advice to not carry more than is necessary and to keep a low profile in terms of the bag that you are using. So that's when I got this one from Travelon. And this is well used. It's not the cleanest bag. I've used this quite a lot just at home, but it has the same thing. It has the technology in the strap and underneath. It has the locking zipper over here. This bag is just a little bit too small for me, I think. I carried it to South Africa, I carried it to Portugal, and they worked great. I just carry a little bit more now with doing videos while I'm traveling, and so I'm carrying a tripod, and phones are bigger now than they used to be. So this size just really isn't good enough for me, but if you're looking for a small bag, they definitely have small bags that have that protection so you're not worried about pickpocketing. So then a couple years ago, I did my first Camino, and I'm not going to bring a purse style bag when I'm on the Camino. That is not necessary. It would just be burdensome. So I was looking for a waist pack that would carry all my valuables, and of course everything else was on my backpack. So carrying a waist pack is really common on the Camino, and this is the one that I bought. I got it from Amazon. I will link it below. I think they still have available. It comes in lots of different patterns. This is not an anti-theft bag by any means, but what it did was made me aware of this kind of bag as a really nice bag to have. It's fairly fashionable now to carry a waist bag crossbody. This one I have done that way. I have it opened up right now because I did take this bag to Alicante a couple of months ago. And when I went there, I wasn't so concerned with pickpocketing because I was going to a smaller city in the off season. I knew there weren't going to be a lot of crowds, and it's not a city that has a reputation, at least that I'm aware of, for pickpocketing. So I didn't feel like I needed anti-theft technologies when I was going there. But I am going to London and Paris this summer, and I need something that's anti-theft, but I like the idea of a waist pack. So I got this bag off of QVC, and it is, again, that kind of nylon material. This one isn't as nice, I will say, as the Travelon bag is, but it's hard to find a bag this style that has the locking zipper, and that's, again, important to me, and this one has that. Has one here, and then it has one down here. So even though this bag isn't quite as nice, not that those other ones are really nice, but they're nicer than this one, I still think this will work. It has a longer strap, and it's still that nylon material. So I think this will work really well for my trip to London and Paris this summer. And I think once I break it in, it'll soften up a little bit. So this is what I am going to use for that trip. I will put a link for this bag down below as well. So those are my examples of bags that I like and why I like them. I'll talk a little bit now about a money belt, because people ask me about that every once in a while. A money belt is absolutely the safest way to carry your stuff so it won't get stolen. It has to be worn correctly underneath your clothes at all times. You should never be accessing it during the day unless you're in a bathroom. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people just pull it out from underneath their pants while they're buying something, and that is not the purpose of it. I've even seen people wearing it outside their pants like it is a waist bag, and that's weird to me. I don't like them. I don't find them comfortable. I do not need any more bulk around my midsection. I don't feel it's really necessary. I feel comfortable without it. If it makes you feel like you're more secure from pickpockets than even the kind of bags I was talking about, by all means do it. Just make sure you know how to use it and what goes in there and what doesn't, so you're not using it inappropriately. It's all about risk, really. How much risk are you willing to take? My risk tolerance is fairly low, but it's not as low as feeling like I need to have it underneath my clothes. And there's other kinds of clothes you could find that have little inside pockets. I've seen scarves with pockets, bras with pockets. There's other things you can do besides a money belt to hide your things underneath your clothes if you want to. I just don't feel a need to do that. But as I said in the beginning of this video, there may be parts of the world that is the best practice. So make sure to look up information for where you are going so that you are the most protected. Now, a couple final things about carrying things around. You should never take your bag and hang it on the back of a chair at a restaurant. That's another thing we do all the time here. Just hang it on the back of the chair, no big deal. Again, that's an invitation to have it taken. I know someone who had that happen at a restaurant in Dublin, put her bag on the back of her chair. When she got up to leave, it was gone. The one thing you will see sometimes in these kind of bags I think is nice is it has a detachable strap. And so what you can do is detach it and you can put it around something, you know, maybe around the leg of the chair or the arm of the chair if you don't want to keep it on you. With crossbody bags, I pretty much just keep them on me even when I'm at a restaurant. I don't ever take them off. And you also want to be very careful with your phone. You should never set your phone down just on the table in front of you. Another thing we do all the time here, your phone needs to be either away or attached to you at all times. My phone, I can't show you because I'm recording on it, but my phone has a case with a strap. And so I have a strap that goes around my wrist, and I also have a crossbody strap so I can wear it either way. My phone is never unattached to me because it can be stolen. So a really common scheme, this happened to a student of mine in London, you put your phone down on the table, someone comes up, and this can happen in a restaurant. People think this only happens outside. This happens in a restaurant. Someone comes up to you, puts like a piece of paper or a newspaper or something on top of your phone, is talking to you about something, and you're like, go away, and they pick up their paper and your phone and they leave. And you don't even notice because you didn't really see it. That happened, like I said, to a student of mine, and she said because I had warned them about it, she knew immediately that it had happened, and it's easy just to lose concentration for that 1 second. So always have your phone connected to you. It can even get swiped out of your hand. You just don't want to take that chance. So something to keep in mind. But I think that covers everything I wanted to say about the bags that I prefer to use when I'm traveling to prevent pickpocketing. I hope that helps you look at what you might want to buy if you don't have a bag like this and you're traveling for the first time. If you have traveled before and you have suggestions for how you prevent pickpocketing, I'd love to hear those in the comments below. I always can use new ideas myself. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.